Good day world, and welcome back to Stuff We Do, where we do all the knife stuff you love. Knife reviews, knife tests, knife modifications and outdoor stuff with knives. I'm starting a new segment today about South African knife makers. Okay, this is Kappetijn knives. Please check the spelling in the description. We are going to be talking about them today. I'm not going to go into the full history. We'll do that in a separate video. But this is one of my favorite custom knife makers in South Africa. They are not crazy expensive, but the quality is fantastic. Okay, don't get me wrong. You do get things that are super expensive, but it's more affordable than most. Okay. In a later episode, we will discuss South African knife makers as a whole. Even the ones that are very, very highly regarded around the world. Chris Reeves, that only went to America in 1989, and now he is pretty much poster child for them. Okay, Kappetijn knives. They are situated in Centurion, which is part of Pretoria. They make hunting knives, tactical knives, outdoor knives, beautiful folders, swords. I suppose if you want to see what an intruder looks like when changed into stake-sized objects, and axes, also hand-forged axes. Okay. All of their knives are handcrafted, so they have limited production on whatever they have. And then they make their own Damascus, which is 1075 steel with 4340 nickel steel. And then you can also buy these steels or these billets of Damascus if you are a custom knife maker and you want to make it on your own. Let me just quickly see, they have lots of different patterns. They have raindrop, twist, ladder, firestorm, basket, random pattern, Turkish twist, and noughts and crosses. Okay, so if you are interested in buying any billets, you can also get that there. All of their knives are between 57 and 62 HRC. The steels that they normally use, 440C, 1075, 1095, and D2. And each knife comes with a custom sheath. Okay, now the way I do this, because it's very expensive to buy custom knives. If you go onto their site, they have new products or test products. It's things that they make to see if people are going to buy this. And then sometimes you can find real bargains there. For the quality and for whatever you get, this is fantastic, because it's exactly the same thing that's going to be sold later at a big amount. Okay. Now, my first one I want to show you. You see the CK, that is for Chris Kappetijn. That's the father that started this. This is a fantastic sheath. Look at this thing, big fat welt. Beautiful, beautiful. Brass, what do you call these things? Rivets, double stitching everywhere. Truly a fantastic sheath. And I like this style of sheath. Okay, also it slips in quite deep. You will never be able to shake this thing out. And then look at this fantastic lanyard at the back. Remember I showed you how to make this in a previous video. Now the knife. Look at that. If you look right there at the top, there, you can see the CK stamped in there. I hope you can see it. Almost. If you can't see it, it's fine. And then look at this. Isn't this the prettiest Damascus knife you have ever seen? And it's not this weird Pakistani Damascus. It's full on beautiful Damascus. Look at that. Okay, you might be able to see that this part is darker than the rest of the Damascus, because I was cutting meat and I put it away immediately without wiping it, and when I took it out again, it was rusted quite badly. Oh, this is also the place where I was first introduced to bow shield. Okay, so I bought that with the knife. I never put it on the knife, and I rusted the knife within the first 2 days that I had it. Okay, so whenever you have Damascus, please make sure one of those steels that's in your Damascus will most likely be something that can rust quite a lot. So yeah, and the difficult part with Damascus, if I go and I grind this whole thing or buff it with some corrosives, I'm going to have a silver blade when I'm done. You need to etch it again to get it to give you this beautiful Damascus look. So yeah, that's why everything doesn't match exactly when we're looking at, you see right there, it's a bit darker because of the rust. Okay, beautiful wooden handles. I cannot remember, I think this is rosewood scales that's on here. Brass pins, brass lanyard hull. This knife is fantastic. It's got an extremely sharp spine also, so if you want that, and then a beautiful hollow grind. So this thing slices through meat. It's a true pleasure to use this knife. Okay, quick story about this. I guilted my wife into buying me this for Christmas one year, and then we went to their residence because he sells it from home sometimes. And then Chris Kappetijn is the father. He was the guy that started the company, but his son, I cannot remember his name now, he's the one that's actually making the knives now. So we went there, we spoke to the son, wonderful day, looked at all the beautiful knives, and then this one with this specific handle that I wanted, he did not have any of them. So we actually went into his house and got me this one, which he kept for himself because this was a prototype of the prototypes. This was the first one. If you can see on the back, the Damascus only goes like halfway. I don't know if you can see that, but the Damascus stops at a certain point because he actually did not have enough, and he welded a piece of normal 440C on the back, and then he made this knife as a prototype. So he kept it for himself, and then after I cried for a few minutes and begged for a while, he eventually agreed to sell this one to me. So I am extremely happy with this knife. I am really glad that I got this, and this thing means a lot to me. Okay, now this was the Hunter. I think this one is called a Valjapi. Also there we see the beautiful CK for Chris Kappetijn. Okay. Then this one I bought from him actually before that. This is a 1075 Bushcraft knife. So they spoke to, I don't know, all kinds of bushcrafty people and people that know what bushcraft people like, and then they made this knife. It sits in the sheath extremely well. It's got a full Scandi grind on it. Oh, there we can see the CK a bit better. Okay. This thing is, I haven't used it for extremely long. Okay, it can still shave arm hair. Okay, so it's a beautiful 1075 blade. It's got some kind of beautiful curly wood handle, curly, I don't know if it's curly birch or whatever, but it's got the beautiful grain to this wood. The tang sticks in here, and then it's pinned in there, so it's not a full tang construction like this one. Oh, with beautiful red liners, if we missed that previously. So it's not a full tang, but this knife is fantastic. Extremely sharp spine, and look at that. Isn't that just... Look, I love Moras, but this thing is the bomb. Okay. On the sheath, I put this, what do you call this thing? Little carabiner and a thing, so I just hook it to a belt loop, so it just dangles next to me. And I took, actually this was not really made for it. I made this thing. It was a cheap ferro rod, and the top part, the little handle fell off like they always do. So I took a piece of jacaranda wood, and I drilled a hole, epoxied the thing in there, and then just with a knife I carved this out. Okay, and then it fits in here perfectly, and the little loop ties over there so everything stays nice and secure. So this is actually a fantastic little kit. Remember I said that all of these things have extremely sharp spines. Now I'm almost burning down the house again. Okay. Kappetijn knives. Wonderful knives. 2 of my favorites. I hope you learned something. Stay safe, happy, and have a good one. Bye-bye.